Well, this Saturday marks the beginning of Passover, a very important holiday in the Jewish faith, with a week-long festival rich in tradition. And here to tell us more about the holiday is Stephanie Tuzman with Jewish Nevada. Stephanie, you're always available when we need you when it comes to fun and, even very religious holidays with the Jewish religion. How are you?
Jason, I'm good. I'm so happy to see you. I can't wait until we're back in studio together.
I know.
It's always nice to join you. Thank you for having me.
You could hide the matzah or afikomen, and I can go find it, and then I can come back to you and ask you for money in exchange, which is one of the traditions, right?
It is one of the traditions during the Seder. Yeah, that happens about midway through the Seder, which literally means order and is a festive meal in which we retell the story of Passover.
Absolutely. Okay, so what basically is Passover?
Basically, Passover is a freedom festival. It's when the Israelites fled Egypt and slavery in search of the promised land. And as I said, we tell that story, the first two nights during a Seder, which literally means order. We read a Haggadah, which tells the story of Passover.
All right, and there's usually somebody leading the Seder. Who are they, and what kind of powers do they have?
Well, it actually depends on your table. I don't know what kinds of traditions you have, but in my house, we all take turns reading from the Passover Haggadah and telling the story. And, the littlest at the table will ask the famous 4 questions. Why is this night different from all other nights? And then we all, take opportunity to answer it and to share the story.
Absolutely. And one of the things that I remember that we do every year is we have the wine and we take our finger, dip it in the wine 10 times. 10 drops of wine on the plate. Basically, what does that represent?
Yeah, so the 10 plagues, as the the Israelites were getting ready to flee Egypt, God put these 10 plagues on Pharaoh in order to get him to let the people go. And finally, by the 10th plague, he said, go. So they fled very quickly with little time to prepare or do much, which is why we have matzah, unleavened bread, which is one of our perhaps most symbolic foods during Passover because the Israelites didn't have time to let the bread rise before they fled Egypt.
Absolutely. Okay, so the real question is, a lot of folks, it really is, I think it's my favorite holiday as a grown-up. As a kid, it was Hanukkah, of course. But
yeah.
But I'm Jewish, but there's a lot of folks that, I always recommend everybody to try to get to a Passover Seder. What are some ideas that anybody can go?
Yeah, so this year, I know, look, last year we were definitely virtual because it was at the start of the pandemic. This year, I think we're seeing some light at the end of the tunnel, and I know that some of our synagogues and congregations are having in-person, safe Passover Seders. You can always get more information about those on our website, jewishnevada.org. We're also selling Seder kits for $10 this year that help you have your own Passover Seder at home. It has a Haggadah inside, wine, it has some of the symbolic foods, and sort of instruction for how to do your own Seder at home.
That's awesome. Excellent. All right, yeah. Well, we appreciate it, and happy Passover to you.
Happy Passover to you, Jason.